Welcome to today's transformation dive here on Earn Flow Zone. You know that feeling? Like your bank account balance is the world's most awkward silence? You stare at it, hoping it says something exciting, but it just sits there, static. Maybe you got a nice raise recently, felt a surge of hope, and then bam! Your spending habits threw a party and invited all your new income. It's like your finances are playing a twisted game of keep away with your dreams. You hear the standard advice, save a bit here, cut a bit there. And it feels less like a roadmap to financial freedom, and more like being told to bail out the Titanic with a teacup. If you're tired of the teacup approach and you're into real, actionable money and mindset content, hit like and subscribe. It helps way more than you think and keeps these uncomfortable truths coming. Drop a comment below with where you're watching from, or even better, your biggest money habit win, no matter how small. Let's dive in and change the way you think about success. You feel stuck, right? Month after month, year after year, the numbers on your bank statement barely creep up. It's a frustrating plateau that most people accept as the norm. You get a raise, and without even trying, your spending seems to inflate like a hot air balloon. It's like your spending habits have a mind of their own, a very expensive mind. That dream of financial freedom, maybe retiring early, maybe just not stressing about bills, feels like a fantasy. Something only lottery winners or trust fund kids get to experience. The prevailing wisdom you hear? Just save 10%. Cut the lattes. While saving is good and lattes aren't a retirement plan, this advice often feels like applying a tiny band-aid to a gaping wound when you're contemplating potentially 40 or 50 more years of this financial grind. You tell yourself it's supposed to take decades. You tell yourself it's too hard for you. You convince yourself your income simply isn't high enough to make real progress. You're living the lie that financial freedom is this distant, almost mythical goal, reserved for a fortunate few. This comfortable lie is precisely what keeps it distant. What if I told you there's a strategy, a brutal truth hiding in plain sight that could potentially compress those decades into just a few short years? It's not a complex scheme, not a scam, but something incredibly simple and powerful, demanding one thing most people aren't willing to give: radical discipline. It's the path less traveled because it requires stepping outside your comfort zone. Ask yourself, what comfortable lie about money are you telling yourself right now that's holding you back? This one question can change everything. All right, let's kill the biggest excuse right now. I don't earn enough. Look, income absolutely matters. Yes, more income can accelerate things, like adding rocket boosters to your financial journey. But it is not the primary driver of how quickly you can actually reach financial freedom. The single most powerful lever you control, the one you can pull starting today, is your savings rate. Think of your savings rate like your fitness level in the gym. It's the percentage of your after-tax income you consistently save and invest instead of letting it evaporate through spending. Consider this reality check. Someone earning $50,000 a year, but managing to save $20,000 of it, that's a 40% savings rate, is moving towards freedom much faster than someone earning $100,000, but saving only $10,000, a meager 10% rate. The person with the lower income is building their freedom fund at double the pace. This is where the math gets uncomfortable for most people, like stepping on the scale after a holiday feast. Traditional advice suggests saving 10 to 15%. That puts you on a 40 to 50-year path to potential freedom. Bump that to a 20% savings rate. You're still looking at 30 plus years. But push that rate to 40%, 50%, even 60%, you dramatically shorten the timeline, potentially needing less than 15 years of living expenses saved, not 40. This isn't just theory. It's simple arithmetic playing out in your bank account. It's also a core principle of behavioral finance. You often become a victim of lifestyle inflation if you let your spending blindly rise with your income. The truly surprising insight here is that reaching freedom isn't about hitting a magic income number. It's about creating a massive gap between what you earn and what you actually need to live, then aggressively working to widen that gap. Your call to action is stark and non-negotiable. Stop telling yourself you can't save because you don't earn enough. Find out what percentage you are currently saving. Don't guess or hope. Pull up your bank statements. Look at your spending, look at your saving, and calculate it. Then sit with that number. Be brutally honest. Is it pathetic? Okay, you know your savings rate from what we just covered. Now, let's be blunt. If it's sitting below 30%, you're on what I call the slow boat to financial freedom. And hey, that's fine for some. But if you're looking to hit financial independence in anything close to 3 years, or even 5 to 7, which is still ludicrously fast, you need an aggressive savings rate. We're talking 50%, 60%, maybe even a jaw-dropping 70%. This is the part most gurus gloss over because, let's be honest, it sounds like deprivation. And yes, it requires making real, uncomfortable sacrifices. It means living significantly below your means, not just trimming the fat around the edges. It's about questioning every single expense with the intensity of a detective on a cold case. Think about our friend Sarah, earning $60K after tax. If she saves 10%, $6K per year, the finish line looks like a distant mirage. To achieve a 60% savings rate, she needs to stash away $36K annually, leaving her just $24K to live on. That's $2K a month for everything. Rent or mortgage, food, transport, utilities, the occasional Netflix binge, laundry detergent, that spontaneous craving for artisanal pickles, you get the picture. This isn't a walk in the park. It might mean sharing a living space with roommates long after your friends are posting pictures of their starter homes, driving a car that's seen better decades, becoming a master chef of budget-friendly meals, and finding entertainment that doesn't require selling a kidney. Here's the surprising insight and the core concept here. This aggressive living isn't a life sentence of punishment. It's incredibly potent practice for financial freedom. Your monthly living expenses now are the biggest predictor of how large your freedom fund needs to be and how quickly you can build it. If you can genuinely live a fulfilling or at least tolerable life on $2,000 a month today, you need a much smaller investment portfolio to cover those expenses later. And guess what? You'll build that smaller portfolio exponentially faster with a sky-high savings rate. It's cause and effect, pure and simple. Your action item, the prompt for reflection. Look at your current monthly spending breakdown. Identify just one major category. Housing, transport, or food are usually the big ones, where you could realistically cut your spending by a significant 30 to 50% starting next month. Don't immediately dismiss it as impossible. Figure out how it could be done, even if it makes you squirm a little. This one decision, if you execute it, can change your trajectory dramatically. Okay, so you've become a ninja at slashing expenses, finding every hidden cost like it's a treasure hunt. That's fantastic. You've cranked up the efficiency of your financial engine. But here's the thing, There's a limit to how much you can realistically cut without feeling like you're living in a cardboard box and eating instant ramen for every meal. Though, let's be honest, sometimes that hits the spot. To really hit that 3-year financial freedom goal, you need more fuel in the tank. Your income isn't just money. It's the high-octane gas that can make your efficient engine roar. You can pump up your income in so many ways: grabbing a second gig, kicking off a side hustle that actually excites you, maybe selling those killer keychains you make, or tutoring, negotiating that well-deserved raise, leveling up your skills for a higher-paying role, or even starting that small business idea that's been bouncing around your head. Remember Alex from earlier? He didn't just stop at cutting costs. He leveraged his skills to earn an extra $1,000 a month freelancing and did the seemingly boring thing, sent it straight to his investment account. That one move bumped his savings rate from 40% to a powerful 55%. This one habit changed everything for him. And here's the surprising insight, the one that challenges common thinking. In the early years, the amount you save and invest, your savings rate, is a far bigger driver of your net worth than the investment returns themselves. You are your own best investment, capable of generating more return through increased earnings and disciplined saving than the market often provides early on. Once you have that significant chunk hitting your account each month, ideally that 50% plus we talked about, putting it to work isn't complicated rocket science. For most of us, investing means consistently feeding that cash into simple, low-cost, diversified index funds or ETFs. You're not trading stocks daily. You're just buying tiny pieces of the world's biggest companies and letting them grow over time. It's effective because it's simple and harnesses the unstoppable force of compounding. Your action step right now, this week, try this for a week. Brainstorm 3 specific, realistic ways you could earn an extra $500 per month outside of your main job. Don't filter, don't judge, just list possibilities. Write them down. What's stopping you from exploring at least one? Okay, let's talk about the biggest hurdle for most people on this path: mindset. You start cutting back, feel deprived, like you're missing out, right? It's like being on a strict diet where you just resent every vegetable and dream of pizza. This feeling of deprivation is exactly what trips people up, leading to burnout and reverting to old spending habits faster than you can say sail. But here's the core concept: aggressively pursuing financial freedom, whether it's in 3 years or 10, isn't about suffering or deprivation. It's about a radical shift in your priorities and your identity. You are not depriving yourself. You are choosing freedom over fleeting pleasure. You are choosing control over mindless consumption. Think of it like training for a marathon. Motivation gets you to sign up, maybe even run the first mile. But discipline? Discipline gets you out of bed for that 5 a.m. run when it's cold and dark. Discipline is what keeps you going when it's hard. It's about building systems and habits that make the desired behavior the easy behavior. This is where a surprising habit comes in. People often resist tracking every dollar because it feels constricting, like counting every crumb. But it's the opposite. You start tracking not because you're cheap, but because you're powerful. You want to know exactly where your energy, the money you earned, is going. It's like having a superpower to direct your resources. And you find joy in unexpected places, free ways to socialize because you value connection more than an expensive restaurant bill, or the quiet satisfaction of watching your savings balance grow. Look at people who successfully pursue the FIRE path. They often find this period of intense focus incredibly rewarding. They aren't just accumulating money. They're shedding a consumerist identity programmed by society. This journey is a surprising insight in itself. It's about building a more resilient, intentional self. So, your action step right now is simple. Try this. Take 10 minutes right now and write down what financial freedom truly means to you. What would your life look like? What problems would disappear? What possibilities would open up? Connect with that deep why. This one habit, clarifying your why, changed everything for me because it reframed discipline from punishment to purpose. The price of freedom and inaction. So the strategy no one tells you. It's not some complex hedge fund maneuver or a secret algorithm whispered in back rooms. It's actually brutally simple, if not easy. It's the willingness to implement an uncomfortably high savings rate. We're talking 50%, 60%, even 70% plus of your income. This isn't powered by winning the lottery. It's fueled by aggressive, intentional spending cuts that feel challenging at first, combined with relentless efforts to increase your income. This surplus is then invested simply, often in broad market index funds, consistently, month after month, year after year. But the engine behind all this? It's a radical, fundamental mindset shift. You transition from being a consumer, whose primary goal is to spend money and acquire things, to becoming an accumulator of freedom, where every dollar saved and invested represents another brick in the wall of your future independence. People often underestimate the sheer power of this equation. High savings rate plus consistent investment plus mindset shift equals accelerated freedom. It's like shifting from walking to sprinting in the race to financial independence. Can you really achieve full financial freedom in just 3 years with this? The answer isn't a simple yes or no, because it depends entirely on where you're starting, your current income level, your potential to increase it, and most critically, your willingness to execute this strategy with ruthless, uncomfortable consistency. For many, 3 years isn't the finish line, but an incredibly intense sprint towards significant, life-altering progress. Think hitting a substantial 5 or even a solid 6-figure investment portfolio, eradicating major soul-crushing debt, or building a financial runway long enough to pursue work you actually love. For others, perhaps with higher starting incomes, lower desired living expenses, or significant windfalls, 3 years could indeed be the finish line where passive income covers all expenses. The point isn't fixating on the exact timeline. It's understanding the acceleration this strategy provides compared to the traditional slow and steady approach. Your savings rate isn't just a number, it's your superpower, period. It determines how quickly you can compound your wealth and buy back your time. This one habit changed everything for me when I truly embraced its potential. Now, let's talk about the flip side, the price of inaction. What happens if you hear this, nod your head, but ultimately don't change? You stay on the slow path, perhaps even the stagnant path. You continue trading your most valuable, non-renewable resource, your time, for money, with little accumulating to show for it. You remain perpetually vulnerable to external shocks, a sudden job loss, an economic downturn that shrinks opportunities, an unexpected medical expense that derails everything. The constant gnawing financial anxiety that keeps you awake at 3 a.m., it doesn't miraculously disappear. It often worsens. Your vivid dreams of traveling the world, finally pursuing that passion project you've shelved for years, or simply having the choice to say yes or no to work. These remain distant fantasies, forever labeled someday. You're stuck in the consumer loop, chasing temporary dopamine hits from purchases instead of building lasting security. Ask yourself, what's stopping you from claiming your freedom? The only barrier is often the inertia of your current habits and the fear of discomfort. But here's the powerful truth. You have a choice today, right now. You can choose to break the cycle. You can choose to embrace the temporary discomfort of change, of saying no to instant gratification, for the profound, lasting promise of freedom and peace of mind. It's not easy, but it's incredibly simple to start. Your absolute simplest, non-negotiable action step right this second is to pull out your bank statements and credit card bills for the last 30 days. Download them. Print them if you need to. Go through every single transaction. Categorize them ruthlessly. Needs versus wants. Fixed versus variable. See exactly, with undeniable clarity, where your money is actually going. This is the essential, foundational step to taking back control of your finances and unlocking that savings superpower. Don't delay. Do it tonight. Reflective close. As we wrap up, take a moment to really absorb what we've discussed. The path to financial freedom isn't paved with complex theories, but with simple, powerful actions executed consistently. The true price of freedom isn't measured just in dollars saved, but in the willingness to confront discomfort, to delay gratification, and to fundamentally change your relationship with money from passive recipient to active architect. And the crushing price of inaction? It's paid in lost opportunity, perpetual anxiety, and dreams deferred, potentially forever. The one big takeaway? Your savings rate is king. It is the single most controllable, most impactful lever you have to accelerate your journey. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep and intentionally grow. Think about the potential long-term benefit if you start taking these steps today. Imagine the feeling of security, of knowing you have a buffer against life's uncertainties. Envision the power of having options, the ability to leave a job that drains you, to take time off, to care for a loved one, to finally pursue that creative endeavor. This isn't just about building a bigger bank account. It's about building a life of autonomy and purpose. It's a deeper insight that money is merely a tool, and its true value lies in the freedom and choices it can provide, not the things it can buy. Discipline with money spills over into discipline in other areas of your life, creating a virtuous cycle of growth. It starts with that first uncomfortable look at your spending, that first deliberate choice to save more, that first mindset shift towards freedom. Remember this, in the end, your bank account will catch up to your mindset, not the other way around.